in your cap. Don't wanna go on with you like that. Oh, whoa, whoa, yeah, yeah. Well, we are going to get started here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Join in. And especially if you're new, I'm going to remind you once again after I get started here. So what is this? Today is September 14th, the year 2025. The time is 7:30 p.m. This is podcast number 432, Your Solution Live, or as I like to call it, YSL for short. Today's topic, we're going to do a little different. We're going to put a twist on things tonight. We're going to put a twist on things for about 30 minutes. For about 30 minutes, I'm going to drive the internet insane, mad. No, I'm just joking on that. I'm not going to do that. But tonight's topic is nothing wrong alone. And we're going to take on this subject for just a little bit about being alone, feeling alone, being alone, knowing alone, sharing alone, living alone. Post Malone. Nah, kidding on that Post Malone thing. Anyways, I see you on the other side. Welcome. Once again, this is podcast episode number 432. So please, 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 if you're new, subscribe, comment, like, and share. All right, we're going to start out. We've got a proverb here. We're gonna get into a proverb. We've got three interesting points of interest. Three quick, very interesting. They're curious. In fact, this episode is unorthodox. What are you talking about, Santos? Unorthodox. The whole thing is unorthodox. The whole world is unorthodox, Santos. I know, but this is Epi. This is Epi Pod 432. YSL, Your Solution Live. Your Solution Live. With Santos, the crazy man out of Stockton, California. Former gambler. Former problem gambler. To the max. So, we got a proverb out of Philippians 2. We got 3 points of interest. And then we got a really neat call to action here. And then we got another short reminder. All right, folks, listen, if you're struggling, by the way, there's a free PDF available. There's a free ebook available. There's a free coaching session available. All right. So Proverbs, Philippians chapter 2, verse 8, we're going to get into that. Welcome. I see those of you that are here. Welcome, welcome. Man, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be here because 30 minutes are going to go by very quickly. Then I got two jokes for you guys. Let me throw one joke. Can I throw a joke in there, break up some of the monotony here? I know, man, this is hard. Santos, is hard, man. It's hard for me to be here, man. It's hard for me to be 30 minutes in front of the camera, man. You don't know what I'm going through, man. It's hard. It's hard. I know it's hard, man. I'm trying to do my best to keep your attention. All right, Proverbs, King James Version, by the way, Philippians chapter 2, verse 8. This is dedication right here, folks. It will never get any better than this. Philippians chapter 2, verse 8, it says, and this is about Christ, God. It says, and being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself. Notice the word there, he humbled. That word humbled is not a bad word, okay? It's not, depending on how it's being experienced. And became obedient. Listen to this. This is Christ. He became a man, he humbled himself, and he became obedient unto death. unaliving, even the death of the cross. Even the death of the cross. I was thinking about this very, very deeply. You know, many people are giving their lives for a cause today. Many people are in fact, God, I won't mention his name, but we all know recently there was one preacher. He was a preacher of sorts. And but here's the thing. Christ was perfect. Christ was perfect. So Christ gave himself for those that he came to save. That's a big difference versus us human beings sacrificing our lives, because we're all tainted. We're all tainted with sin. There's something, I well, I hate to burst your bubble, but we're all stained with something. All right, let me see if I can get that joke in here, break up some of this monotony, because I know it's hard, folks. What do you call fake spaghetti? What do you call fake spaghetti? Anyways, I'll leave you hanging for a minute. I'm going to look into the comments, see if there's anybody with me here. All right. For a minute there, I thought it said cake spaghetti. You ever eaten cake spaghetti? I don't think I've ever eaten cake spaghetti. Anyhow, what is fake spaghetti? I'm going to leave you hanging for a minute there. All right. Thank you, Lord, for that proverb. And may God add his blessing for the next 30 minutes. So let's get into point of interest number one. Point of interest number one. All right. If you're with me. Hey, by the way, if you like what you're hearing here for the next 15, 20 minutes, share this. Leave a comment. A thumbs up, man. All right. Make my night. Make the night for somebody. Make it your night, friend. All right, point of interest number one. By the way, the topic of this is maybe I didn't mention this enough. Nothing wrong alone. Nothing wrong alone. Is there anything wrong with being alone? Is there anything wrong with feeling alone? Is there anything wrong with living alone? Every once in a while, it's good to belong to something. Every once in a while. Just every once in a while. You know, not every day. Not every week. Maybe once a week. Maybe on Sundays. Every once in a while, it's good to belong to something. But Santos, I cherish being alone, brother. Man, I really... Well, you know, I'm sure there's times where you feel too alone. You've gone too far with being alone. And some folks go too far with being alone, and you know what happens to them. You know. All right, let me get back to the joke here. Parker, let me see, I can see... Are you here to meet a 13-year-old girl? Well, I'm not here to meet any 13-year-olds, but there might be some 13-year-olds out there that are having problems with gambling, friend. All right? Now, be nice here. Be nice. All right? Because just like the riddle, the joke, have you ever heard of fake spaghetti? It's called impasta. Impasta. So be careful there, buddy. I can see the comments and stuff, and I hope that my moderators jump in here. We're not going to be here that long. Time is going to go by very quickly. Stick around, like Emerald Legaspi says. All right, we're talking about every once in a while. It's good to belong to something. If you disagree with that, give me a hell yes. If you disagree with that, every once in a while, you must belong. Well, Santos, I go to work every day. No, that's not what I'm talking about. You could go to work and be alone there. And by the way, being alone is nothing wrong. It's a gift. When you learn how to practice it correctly. God help us. Santos, do you practice it correctly? I'm trying. I'm so addicted to gambling. It's so much fun. Let me put this guy out on a timeout there for about see if he sticks around for about 10 minutes. So Parker, listen, buddy, if you have problems and you want to reach out to me, I'm pretty transparent. You can reach out to me. I'm not going to judge you. I've been through this shithole myself. I've actually probably been through a very, very tiny shithole, and I've come through it. In fact, my feet, as I was coming out of the shithole, my feet probably still got a little shit on them. They probably stink a little bit. That's why I'm here, man, in front of you, seeking grace and mercy and sharing my story. All right. So, listen, we don't have to get deep into this, why you should belong to something every once in a while. And we can come up with all kinds of ideas. I'm not going to lecture you on that, right? Unless you want to lecture me. What could I get into? Well, the question is, what could you get into that would help you every once in a while get rid of that loneliness that you might feel at times that might be overwhelming? There's nothing wrong with being alone. That's the topic of this episode, by the way. All right, so I got rid of joke number 1. I didn't hear you guys laughing, so you probably didn't like my joke, but it's all right. At least I put Parker on standby for at least 10 or 15 minutes. I'm sure he's feeling it. Either he's gone by the wayside or he's hanging around watching at the sidelines. Okay, so POI number 2. Let me see how many minutes we've got. We've got 12 minutes into this thing. By the way, thank you for, hey, Keith, welcome. We got 1 thumbs up. Man, what is up? 1 thumbs up is better than 0. So I'm grateful for you, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, but it's been an exciting week, hasn't it? Today is, in fact, doesn't it feel like we just entered into the month of September? And we're already halfway through the month. Coolio. Interesting. By the way, my birthday's coming up next month. What do you want for your birthday, Santos? Man, all I ask for is $7. $7 to the mission. Can you do that? All right. Anyhow, point of interest number 2. Point of interest number 2. I want to say thank you. I'd like to say thank you right here. Thank you for being you, and thank you for being here. Just for a little bit. Thank you for hanging out. I told you this podcast was going to be a little orthodox tonight. Just a little bit. Every once in a while you need to hear a thank you. You really do, a sincere thank you. I'm sure you've heard thank you, right? Thank you. Thank you. People walk by, they don't even look you in the eyes. They won't look you in the eyes and they'll say thank you. Thank you very much. You do a delivery, you do a kind gesture, you say a kind thank you. No, I'm here to tell you thank you. If you are a sincere person, thank you. All right? Thank you for being here, and thank you for being who you are. That's an interesting point of interest, isn't it? Right? You go to a podcast and you just show up and all of a sudden you're being... Why would I do that? Somebody here needs to hear that. Somebody needs to hear. You're getting ready to go to... You're hitting the office tomorrow at 7:30 in the morning or 6 in the morning. You need to hear that. Thank you. Thank you for being here. In fact, it's you for being here for a little bit. You're sharing your time. is helping this platform reach out to other people. There's people that are really, really wanting to change. And all it takes is just one word, one video, one look. Let's do this, buddy. That's all it takes sometimes. Let's do this. Wow. Wow, I didn't expect that. I did not expect that. Thank you, Keith. I appreciate that very, very highly. I know there's a few people watching. By the way, thank you for the second like. Faith, thank you, Faith, for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. Sincerely appreciate that, Keith. So that ties in very well with my point of interest number 2, which is exactly what I wanted to do, is just say thank you for being you and for being here. It helps my job. It helps me come up with ideas and topics. Sometimes as crazy as the world may be, and I'm a philosopher, I'm a thinker, I'm a curious person, and I realize that there's not too many people that can handle me. I don't associate with a lot of, I have a good buddy that I do volunteer work with. To help him because he's struggling financially. So I volunteer what I can. I'm in recovery myself still, physically recover. It's a tough world, folks. It's a tough world. And there's a lot of people alone. And again, I'm going to say this, there's nothing wrong with being alone. I'm a loner myself. I'm an introvert. I am an introvert by nature. I've had to really crack myself over the skull many times in order for me to come out and be an extrovert. And I'm not a very good one. I can share ideas and philosophies. Sometimes they might even seem far-fetched. They make sense. It takes practice. I was thinking about the word perfect the other day, Keith. The word perfect, we should eliminate that out of our vocabulary. I believe God is perfect. We practice to get better. Ever notice you say to yourself, sometimes you might even said this to yourself, well, I'm not perfect. I failed again. Well, no. Or we get into a conversation with somebody else and the P word comes in there. We should remove it out of our vocabulary. We should start really using the word, I'm going to practice getting better. You get into an argument, you make a mistake. Oh, I'm not, I'm not, get rid of the P word. Instead, you say, you know what, from today on, I'm going to practice getting better. I'm going to practice at getting better. You hear people saying that. Well, I'm not perfect. And then after a while, you hear people saying that. It's strange. Well, I'm not perfect. Well, maybe you really don't want to change. That's why you say I'm not perfect. Right? Anyhow, it's a great Sunday. We're getting ready for a great week, folks. There's a lot happened this last week, and there's a lot happened this weekend. We know, right? We've heard the news. My condolences go out to the families of those that have lost loved ones, man. There's been many of them. Especially that young lady. There's a young Ukrainian lady that lost tragic. We could see something. I was thinking about this. People are paralyzed. People are so paralyzed. They are the focus. The FT has most people. The FT has most people. I was just thinking, what would I have done if I was on that train with that young lady and I would have seen that incident? How would well, I live in survival mode most of the time. If I used to ride the subways, I remember what it's like to be back to back on the subways from San Francisco to the Bay Area, et cetera, et cetera. So, it's like when you're there, and sadly, people are not focused. People are distracted to the maximum, and they're also paralyzed in fear. They see a dispute, they see an argument, they move away from people. This is where we're at today, and folks, we really, really need to be thinking about, being alone. There's nothing wrong with being alone, but there are times where we really need to be long. We need to go somewhere. We need to do something. All right. Number 2, I want to thank those of you that are here. And number 3, I'm going to ask you, this is point of interest number 3. We're getting ready to wind down here, but I want to ask you this. How do you see life today? Never mind what I said. Never mind me. But how do you see life today? How do you see life today? I'm not going to say any more on that point. I'm just going to leave it hanging because I really want those of you that are here to think about that. All right? I'll give you my outlook here in just a minute. Just a quick outlook in 3 words. Okay? But I want you to think about that. Point of interest number 3. How do you see life today? And let me throw in another joke here while we can, because I'm such a funny guy. Why don't oysters give to charity? Why don't oysters give to charity? By the way, if you're new here and you haven't subscribed to this channel, I'm going to ask you to subscribe, comment, like, and share. Listen, there's a free ebook for you. There's a free PDF, downloadable PDF quick guide with 5 points of interest. Excellent. I'm going to be working on that this week to twist it and not twist it, but what is it? What's the word there, Keith? Come on, somebody help me. I got to tweak it. There we go. I want to tweak that thing so that it's more mobile friendly and it's more direct to people that are really looking, especially people that are alone. You open up your phone right there and there's some really cool videos that you can watch for 3 or 4 minutes or 2 minutes to stimulate your mind and help you think about you. That's what it's all about. That's what that program's free. All I ask is for $7, right? Thank you, Keith. I really appreciate the donation. I know that I'm probably going overboard, but I've never had a donation of $99 on this channel. So I am very grateful for that. Man, that's going to buy a lot of donuts and chocolate milk. No, I'm just kidding. But I do have some bills coming up, and it's gonna serve the mission very, very well. Another thing that I want to throw in, Cephas. Some of you might remember Cephas. Cephas used to work with me. He was from Nigeria. He was kind of a techie guy, and he left the mission for his reasons. And of course, everything I do, I have to pay for. So he reached out to me, and he's wanting to do some gratuity work. I don't know what he means by that. Gratuity. He wants to do gratuity. I know what gratuity means, but, unfortunately, people say a lot of things, right? They make a lot of promises, man. And unfortunately, most of the people don't come through. That's sad. And we have to learn to forgive and forget. And we move away from people like that because people don't come through, right? I owe, and off to work I go. Yes, I have debts. Ever since I stopped working because of disability. I couldn't actually work full-time work anymore. I was advised to retire, and I did, and et cetera, et cetera. And of course, I'm a service member. I'm a veteran. So I am very grateful. I do receive some income from the government, or I am receiving, right? It's been a process, but we all know it's just minimal to be able to live off and to, you know, work part-time or whatever. So I'm grateful for that. I'm still waiting. I'm in debt, and I know many people are in debt. But I'm here to tell you, listen, if I'm here to tell you that if you set your mind to do something. Oh, okay, this is what I wanted to say. I know I go off. But I wanted to say this. This is regarding my outlook on point of interest number 3. I see more puzzled folks. I see more people becoming more puzzled, if that makes sense. I see that going forward. I see more puzzling going on. You know, question marks and uncertainties and fears and all kinds of things. That's what I see. That's the outlook that I see. While technology grows and the gospel also gets out into the world. Because I'm a firm believer in the Bible. I don't go to church. I'm not going to bash church. I don't go to church myself. I do read the Bible and I pray and I try my best to live through my sin, because believe me, you know, if you're a human being, if you are a human and you're hearing what I'm saying, you know that you alone are enough. You got to get yourself through stuff. Sometimes you got to help others too along the way. You know, maybe a family member, maybe a spouse, or maybe a friend, stranger of sorts. All right. Let me finish up here, and then we'll do a call to action. City by the Bay. Hey, welcome, Mr. Original. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Keith. Keith, is this twice that you've done this? I have lost so much money in gambling, but I have money now and I wanted to pay it forward to you, Santos. Thank you, sir. Well, I just appreciate that. And by the way, folks, listen, I wrote my first song. I enjoy singing karaoke. I've been blocked on karaoke, YouTube, and I sing other. I sing karaoke anyways. I don't have licenses for doing that. So I figured, you know what? I'm a crazy mofo. I like writing and I think and I'm curious and I don't mind making mistakes. I don't mind falling sometimes to learn. And sometimes you fall and you get up and you don't do it again, right? Sometimes you fall, you get scraped up and the scab peels off. Okay, I'm better now. I can do the same thing, but I can go all the way now. So I created a song and I titled it A Place Called Home. A Place Called Home. Now, it doesn't have any acoustic background, but it has my a cappella version of it. I put it on TikTok. I might end up putting it here. I know it's a funny thing. It's kind of a dry lyric, but you gotta listen to the lyrics, folks. A Place Called Home. I never thought that I would ever write a song, and that'll lead me to probably write another one, maybe a couple more. And we're gonna put some music to these songs. And you know what? This is why I'm not gonna become rich from this, man. I'm just doing this because this is what I feel that I'm called to do. You know, it brings purpose. And those of you you have to be called to your purpose. Be dedicated to what it is that you want to do. And sometimes it may look funny. Truth be told, it may look funny. So thank you once again. All right, my call to action here. By the way, joke number 2. Why don't oysters give to charity? Because they're shellfish. Did you get that? Because they're shellfish. All right. Thank you. I appreciate you, Keith. I know, man, just prepare for the week. Prepare for the week. I appreciate all of you guys. Keith is paid for the Wi-Fi for the entire month. And let me see. Have a good evening, Santos. I appreciate you there. City by the Bay, thank you. Don't bring the juice, suck Colts. I can help my gambling habit. There you go. I hope you continue to do very well, Keith. I really that. Mr. Original, Let me see. Fulgencio Mesa, God bless you too, man. Santos, you're not only a saint, but you're a guardian angel sent to those who instincts are self-destructive. Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I mean it. Um, you're welcome for that. I appreciate. By the way, again, folks, I've got some excellent materials, man. A free ebook. It's really easy to read. My ebook is very short. It's a brain stimulator. And then the free quick guide. It's got 5 points of interest with little videos. You can watch it on your phone, tablet, your computer. Right there, have me on your shoulder saying, get up, Rocky, you son of a gun. So thank you for that, and I really appreciate those of you. And Keith, I really appreciate the donation. So who else was with me? I don't know. I miss Jim. I miss Laura. I miss Mark. I don't know what's happening with folks. Well, again, distractions. We get distracted, and I know it's, I don't expect everybody to be here every Sunday, but man, I've missed some of you guys, and I hope that they get the message. I really do. So with that said, my call to action is this here. Listen, please. Okay, this is my call to action, and I'm going to be here again next Sunday, Lord willing, 7:30 p.m. Listen, we're already into the month of October. Amazing. So 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will be back here, Lord willing. And we may do a special Wednesday, Thursday edition for 30 minutes. I'm not sure. Hopefully, we may do that. It depends on how many Red Bulls I drink on Wednesday. No, I'm just joking on that one. And so the call to action question, it's a question really. What would you like to see more of? What would you like to see more of from today forward? All right. Remember to subscribe, comment, like, and share. We got a free PDF, free ebook. There's free coaching. Listen, if you need to talk to me for 30 minutes, man, 30 minutes. Santos, man, but I'm scared. I'm an extrovert. I'm an introvert. So am I. But you need to talk to somebody that's out there, that's doing it, right? At least it's working on it. I'm available. I'm not going to coach you for 3 months. I won't do that, but I'll sit with you for 30 minutes and we can, if you got something, maybe you've watched my the PDF download quick guide and you were watching a video or you read something in there and you had a cognitive dissonance going on. You know what I'm saying? Like cognitive dissonance. Santos, man, I've got tell me what's going on here. We can email, or we could possibly set up that 30-minute segment, and I could say, yes, this is what I meant, or this is how you can see yourself in this scenario, or what is it that you want to do, right? Because it's not about me. What is it that you want to do, or what is it that you must do? So that's what a second set of eyes and ears can do for you. Again, I'm crazy with that. I'm a brainstormer. I'm curious. I'm a philosopher. Little crazy, yeah. I'm a nice guy. I like pistachios and chocolate with sea salt. And every once in a while, I like a milky. I like a cold milky. South Korea's #1 cream soda. And they come in little cans, by the way. So, thank you for hanging out tonight, folks. I'll wait for a question or two, and then we're going to be on our way. I've been here 33 minutes. 33 minutes here. All right. Oh, Busty. Is it Rusty? Oh, how do we get out of a rut? Rusty says. Hi, Rusty. Are you still there? Rusty. How? Well, that's a good question, right? How? First of all, how is a good question. How? But the one that comes after that is what you have to do, right? How, and then you got to figure out what to do. So I'm going to ask you the question. You're a smart person. Obviously, you're pretty smart because you're on my podcast. What do you think you should do? Or what are your choices? Get a piece of paper, right? Get a piece of paper, get a pen. Not a hen, but a pen. right? So you can be a friend. And get yourself a piece of paper there and just put 2 choices down. That's it. Not 5, not 7, 2 choices. And then you ask yourself, which one of those am I going to do? How do I get myself out of a rut? Well, you want to keep yourself out of it as much as possible, right? The more that you've gotten yourself into a rut, the more you should know how to keep yourself from the rut. Or at minimum, how to get out of it, because you've been through it. We've got a lot of young people coming up, man. They're going to go through the rut. Oh, they're going to get their ruts. Why? Because they're not listening. They could get advice from somebody that's been through the ruts. You know what I mean? The ruts. R-U-T-S. I've been here. I'm going to be 59 years of age, October 17th, Lord willing. I've been here since 1966. So I've been around and I've seen some things, folks. I've seen some neat things, really neat things. I've seen some strange things, and I've seen some things that I just don't have an answer for, right? That's been my life. That's been my life. Anyways, thank you guys. I appreciate all of you guys. So who else? Maybe that helps. And by the way, Rusty, I have a book. I have a couple of books on Amazon. I don't know if you work or if you have financial means. I have this book at Amazon, and there's another book. It's called 15-Minute Mornings, Breakfast of Champions. Very short read. It's an easy read. 15-Minute Mornings, Breakfast of Champions. I don't know if it's still, I think it still should be out there. It might be $15, maybe less. I'm not sure. It's a good read. Cephas and I put that together. It's a great read. And it just tells you what you can do with 15 minutes every day, 15 minutes in the morning. You know, if you don't have 15 minutes, divide it. 7 minutes. Work for 7 minutes. Hey, 7 minutes, 7 minutes, 7 minutes, 7 minutes. It all adds up. And it makes you into a warrior, into a soldier of self-mastery. All right, folks. Anything else for me here? Single event upset. Charlie Kirk reaped what he... Well, let's be careful, folks. Let's be careful, because there's a lot of people tracking this movement with this individual. I don't want to mention his name because I've heard that social media bots are coming down on channels and different things when you're putting that into the mix. So I have nothing. I don't know the guy. I don't know him very well. I do know that he had some Christian political beliefs. I've heard some of his speeches. I didn't listen to entire sound bites, so I could tell he's obviously on the Christians. So, but anyways, with that, we'll let it go. I don't want to put anybody on timeout because we're coming to the end of the program. Once again, folks, I'm here to support you. If you're here to support this community, and we're here to support others, because that's what it's really all about. That's the scripture that I read earlier in Philippians chapter 2, verse 8, where it talked about that Christ, he humbled himself as a man, and he became obedient even to the death of the cross. That is deep. Do I understand that one? Will I ever? All right. I am still dealing with my gambling demons, but I am working through it. Appreciate your words and wish you well. Exactly, Keith. You keep reaching higher, man. Every time, some people think, well, I'm tired of falling. Sometimes you got to fall. The thing is that, remember what Rocky Sylvester said? It says it's not how many times you fall, it's how quickly or how you can get back up. Because we're going to fall, folks. We're going to fall. And one thing I'm going to leave you with is do not beat yourself down. Listen, if you're going to do that, if you're going to do any beating, beat yourself up. Beat yourself up, not down. Not down. You don't want to be down. You want to be up. You want to be up. All right. You get out of rut by asking God for forgiveness, meaning, yes, that's the most important. He'll let you start over. God's grace is sufficient, my friend. God's grace is sufficient. Rusty, who says at a time that everything seems like it's failing, it's in good to hear some clarity. I appreciate it. You're welcome. We'll be here once again, Lord willing, Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. is the usual time, about 40 minutes. But every Sunday for sure, YSL, Your Solution Live. With that said, I'll see you at the top. Peace through strength, folks. Shout out to Keith there. Thank you. Thank you.